I really don't want realism. I want magic. And magic has appeared in many of my films.
Yes.
And I think there's no way out of this terrible mess that we're all in without some kind of magical solution. If without that, nothing's going to happen.
See, I would say that Purple Rose of Cairo might be a great movie because the ending of it, it's you're rooting for this happy ending that would please your heart, shall we say. But it has a better ending. It's the right ending.
It's the right ending.
It's the right ending. And that's why it's a brave choice, which what maybe makes it a great movie because, well, it's been out 30 years. Can I tell the plot?
It's one of my better movies. I wouldn't call it great, but it is one of my better movies. And they did pressure me to change the ending.
I'm sure.
They had gone up to Boston to screen it. And
describe the plot. And I know you say you relate also to that character that Mia Farrow played in that.
Yeah,
That's you.
Yeah.
Because the plot is that she's in a desperate, horrible depression life, bad husband, the poverty, the whole thing. And so she goes to the movies and gets lost in the wonderful...
As most of America did in those years.
Right, right. Mm-hmm. So the character, Jeff Daniels, handsome leading man, he comes off the screen. Now, of course, this is under the category of buy the premise, buy the bit. You got to buy the premise, and then you run with the bit. So the character comes off the screen. Right? Okay. So, and then romance is her. I mean, legitimately, they fall in love. And then the actor,
right,
the real actor, the real guy, is pissed off because this guy came off the screen and now he's like stealing his thunder. There can't be two of them running around.
Right, he's hurting him.
Right. So he comes to town to try to get that guy, the one who came off the screen, to go back up on the screen.
Yes.
So he romances Mia Farrow.
That's
and
right.
she falls for him. And now she has to make a choice between the guy who came off the screen, Jeff Daniels, and the real actor. And the guy who came off the screen, you know, he's a little more true and honest. But the other guy, he's real. So she, you know, as an audience member, you're like, okay, this is great. She's going to get everything she wants. She's going to get this great guy, and now he's human, so they have a future together. But it means the other guy has to go back up on the screen. So she does that. She picks the real guy. The other guy goes back up on the screen. And then she's like, he said, the real one's going to take her back to Hollywood. And she's at the train station and or whatever. And of course, he didn't show up. Of course, he was just using her. Your heart wanted them to like have this fairy tale ending, but no.
But
that's what ambitious actors do.
Yes, but you remember this. The capsule, excuse me, the capsule meaning of the film is that we are all, in my opinion, forced to choose between reality and fantasy. And it's very pleasurable to choose fantasy, but in the end, that way lies madness. So you have to choose reality, and reality always kills you. It always hurts you. But you have no choice. You can't choose fantasy because you go nuts. So you have to choose real, and the real is always heartbreaking because life is heartbreaking.
Is that the ending to the ones you love, these you know, Seventh Seal and these types? It's always the realistic ending.
Yes. The
don't cop out.
Bicycle Thief has an ending that will have you in tears. And the Seventh Seal won't have you in tears, but it's very powerful film.
But like the movies that you talked about and that took people away, they were so anti-realistic. I mean, in the 30s and 40s and 50s, the audience had zero expectation of realism. They're actually offended by it. Like if you got shot, you didn't like bleed out.
That's right.
And a kiss was very chaste. Things were just indicated.
You were not allowed to open your mouth. There were rules. They had to sleep in double beds when they were married on the screen. You never saw any of those married couples in the same bed. They always had to have double beds. They were very, very prudish and very strict about that. But those were escapist films, and one could make the case that since there's nothing you can really do about the tragic side of life, that maybe in the end the better thing to do is to make the films that are escapist and give people an hour and a half of respite from the terrible anxieties of life, let them enjoy themselves in an unrealistic manner for an hour and a half, and go back, refresh them like a cold drink of water on a hot day, and they go back. And all the confrontational films, the heavy films, don't do anything except, reiterate the tragedy of life, which you already know about.
I have to tell you, like when I was a 14-year-old with other wise-ass New Jersey boys, and your early movies were out, and we loved them, and what you thought about when you watched movies back then, and the people were, in the apartment where the elevator opened right into the apartment, and every phone was white, and you said people were always drinking, but no one ever vomited.
That's right.
Okay, what that was to you, your shit was to us as 14-year-old boys, because, like, we read about your life, eating dinner at Elaine's every night, and, like, all these women. I mean, you were such a ladies' man.
Incredible that I was able to have a life and to have been involved with a number of women that were quite beautiful and formidable, gifted and intelligent.
You had dated Diane Keaton and both her sisters.
I was yes, I was a unusually lucky guy when it came to. I've had some wonderful women in my life, very, very influential on me.
Oh, I know. You said that, like, at some point you were under the wing of Mel Brooks.
No, not under the wing. I got on the Sid Caesar show. I'm about 10 years younger than Mel, and he was very, very friendly with me. Very nice to me on the show.
But you said, the book at least says you looked up to him in the sense that you were just amazed that this small Jew could be.
Because we'd walk home together from the show. We lived in the same neighborhood. And we'd walk home together after the show. And he would regale me with stories about his love life.